Welcome to episode 5 of the Digital Soapbox, presented to you by me, Dan Ricardo from Strategy Plus. And today I wanted to discuss another issue that I might have with Google and also the SEO industry as a whole, really. There's a lot of stats that are put out there by people that work within the industry, pushing SEO software such as Moz, SEMrush, etc. And they're always trying to push the importance of ranking highly in organic traffic, in organic rankings in Google, which is true. Obviously, you want to be there, but sometimes the stats that they put out there aren't necessarily telling the whole story. So Britney Muller, who is one of the senior scientists at Moz, tweeted something today saying Google sends 10 times more traffic to websites than anyone else, including pay-per-click. Now, I've asked her the question, I'm pretty sure I know the answer, that these stats are probably from the whole picture of searches, okay? They've taken the stats from the entire number of searches, but that isn't really relevant to most businesses, commercial businesses that are looking to try and get business, because a huge proportion of searches aren't commercially relevant. So there's students out there researching history, people for exams, all sorts of manner of things, looking for thesaurus and what words to use and how should I use this particular theme, grammar, all these kind of things that aren't really commercially of interest to any kind of e-commerce website or business out there. So there's no pay-per-click adverts. So really what I would like to see are the stats of click-through rates only when pay-per-click AdWords is showing. Because if you look at, say, Wayfair, they noticed that this was in 2017 when Google changed their AdWords from on the right-hand side to having them at the top, that probably rather than having 3, there's 4, and the way they've designed them is far more subtle, so it's less obvious that they are adverts and all the rest of it. And they noticed that they lost 25% of their click share on desktop and 55% on mobile, because obviously there's less space on mobile. So 55% in 2017 they lost, and they did it based on existing rankings, still ranking the same, but getting 55% less click-throughs from Google, because Google have messed around with the adverts and got greedy and tried to get as many click-throughs as possible and enough pennies in the bank. So really the stats that keep getting pushed out by the likes of Britney Muller, also other SEO companies out there, looking at the click-through rates, but these aren't necessarily including pay-per-click only searches. So what does that mean really? It doesn't sound as though I'm pushing SEO, but of course SEO is a massive part of digital marketing. It has to be part of your strategy, but SEO itself shouldn't really just focus on the rankings in Google. It should also look at traffic from other websites, not just Google. So understanding user behavior, where do they go from site to site to site? We know from experience from a lot of e-commerce websites that you do get a huge amount of business from referral websites. So it could be forums, blogs, people talking about subject matters in detail and believe and trust what each other say. Also, if you can do guest blogging at other people's websites that are relevant to yours, and as part of that user behavior. So you've really got to have a holistic point of view when you're looking at SEO and you're not just looking at the rankings. Also, I watched the latest Google kind of AdWords conference that was this week, and their adverts are trying to get smarter and understanding the buyer process and getting your adverts further down the buying process. When people are sort of saying, when's the best time to search for plant roses, for example, they're not necessarily looking to buy the roses at that point, but they will do at some point. So they've got a lot smarter to understand user behavior online and making sure that you get your adverts in front of them even when you're not actually asking it in an obvious way. So your intent is not necessarily obvious there, but it's understanding that people go through a process, some longer than others. So using all of Google's platforms, so you're talking YouTube, Gmail, and obviously Google itself, is to try and get adverts further down that buying process. So they are competing with all your organic efforts at every stage. But yeah, it just means with SEO, you've got to have more of a holistic point of view and not just look at the top 5 rankings of Google.